Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Cat's Track. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and sharing this with your friends. Today's episode is with our friend Joanna McLeod, who owns our favorite breakfast place in Calgary, 1886. Joanna was born in Calgary, Alberta. She tells me that her family means the world to her. They fill her cup each and every day. They are her biggest champions, and she would do anything to make sure that they're happy, healthy, and safe. Besides their loved ones, Joanna is most passionate about their family business that they worked so hard to keep running for 40 years while also celebrating Calgary's history at the same time. She's also extremely passionate about yummy tacos. So fun. Friend, you'll find her full bio attached. Joanna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm delighted you're here. It is my honor. Your stepfather has been a friend of mine for 30 years. I spend almost every morning at 6:30 to 7 a.m. at 1886, loving my steak and veggies. And your dad or stepdad was always so generous and kind to all of us. And of course, I can't do this without a shout out to Deb and Danny and all the wonderful team that's there that feels like family to me. So when I walk in, it's like that cheer is like, hey, feeling.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm delighted. So I'm glad you're here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Joanna, we're going to do something a little different today. I know we provided you with some questions in advance, but let's go off script and tell the story of 1886. Specifically, we know obviously how amazing it's been for 40 years, the great community effort that you've had for all of your patrons. I appreciate that. Tell me when things started to go sideways for 1886.
Okay, so I'll probably take you back to 2017, 2018. 2018 was when our long-standing lease with the city came up and was up for renewal, at which point we started to go into negotiations with the city to try to secure another long-term lease. However, at that point, the city decided that they wanted to put us on a month-to-month lease. And the reason that we were given was because Harbor Development was going to be doing this big development project with the market and the surrounding areas, and they didn't know what the disruption to our business would be. And the city was also going to be coinciding their own revitalization plan along with the Harbor Development to do, revitalize Eau Claire Plaza for the land that they had owned. And again, they had always told us about this revitalization, and we had seen the plans for this revitalization. So that was the decision, was a month-to-month lease. Obviously, they gave us multiple assurances saying, we have your best interests at heart. We want you to stay in here as tenants. It doesn't make any sense not to have you in here or to have this building empty. So even with all of those assurances, a month-to-month lease doesn't provide a lot of security. So we were always in discussion, meeting with as many people as we could to try to secure a long-term lease. While these discussions were happening, we were shared development plans of the revitalization of the plaza. And in these plans, we were mentioned on 4 of the pages. The plans showed our business name. It didn't show a building that says historical site. It shows a building that is titled with 1886 Buffalo Cafe. I was invited to the open house to see where, our little building was attached to another bigger building that when they eventually moved it towards the river. In some emails, it was like, come and see where 1886 Buffalo Cafe is and notice that you are on all of these pages. So we were always led to believe that we were going to be part of this revitalization process. We were said that there might be a slight disruption to our business, and we are no stranger to construction. We've been raised before in the past. The market was built around the cafe, back in the days when there was only bus barns down there. Mm-hmm. So we are no stranger to construction and persevering through that. And then, so they had also said, it might be a slight disruption. Maybe a little bit naive of me to think that it wouldn't take longer than a month or 2 to move a building. And that was the extent of the disruption. Again, I should have clarified the timeline, but they had made it sound that they would be doing the Jaipur Bridge and the flood mitigation first. And then after they would come for our building and move it. So those plans have since changed with what the information that they're giving to the public right now. But anyway, so, and that was in 2019 when I received those plans. And shortly after that, after meeting with my city officials and discussing our concerns with the month-to-month lease, we received an offer to lease for 5 years in February of 2020, which was a huge weight lifted for us. You know, we were just like, after all of our hard work of contacting, you know, the mayor and our aldermans, this was a win for us. We felt secure moving forward. And that happened at the beginning of February when we received this offer to lease, and then of course in March, COVID hit. So everything was kind of pushed, but that offer to lease was on the table. I had sent it back saying I would like some language amended because it doesn't reflect a typical commercial lease. We had just finished paying $10,000 out of our own pocket to replace the entire furnace system at the cafe. So we were just making sure that there was some language change so that the maintenance piece was reflected in our lease, and what we were on the hook for there. And so again, during this time, our leasing agents had changed, and it was passed over to a new agent, and multiple emails from me, you know, requesting an update on the lease. When can I get this lease signed? We're eager to have this lease signed. So not only did we pursue this lease, we chased it, and we kept asking for, and kept getting pushed off, and kept getting, oh, we have to have a meeting, and we were still talking about the revitalization. But at no point in any communication did they say, you know what, we're just going to keep you on a month-to-month lease, or we're not going to move forward with this 5-year lease. It was just constantly pushing us off and saying, we will discuss the lease, but it is, you know, that's pretty much all we got from February onwards. Until I received, the way that I actually found out about this getting pushed out was because we were always told that it was based on Harvard development and then moving forward with their development. But we knew that Harvard development wasn't moving forward because the barley mill was closing, but there was someone moving into the barley mill. So that was kind of triggering. Why would someone move into the barley mill if they know that that's getting taken down? So I'm like, okay, so that doesn't, something's wrong, weird there. And then they had ticketed our trees out front, the City of Calgary, and I noticed that they were doing construction towards the river. So another spotty, the city is clearly moving forward with their revitalization plan. So I had called our leasing agent, and I had said, you know, I'm just curious if you have an update as to when you're going to be moving the building so that we can start preparing for that. And I was told, oh, I'm so sorry, I've been meaning to get back to you. I was going to call you today or on Monday. And yes, we're going to have to ask you to vacate in 90 days. And I said, sorry, what? Do we vacate in 90 days while you move us? And no, I was confirmed indefinitely that we would have to be out. And that's where the word blindsided comes in. You know, we were just shocked, devastated is a better word. And yeah, that's just kind of when we started just amassing, making sure we went through all of our documents and checking to see how we would have missed something, where the disconnect was. And it's just unfortunate that the city just decided not to bring us to the table to be part of any discussion. And yeah, so we got in touch with our legal team. We submitted a letter to the city, just outlining our grievances and our concerns, and gave the city ample time to get back to us before we decided to go public with our information. Phase 2 for us was going to be going on social media and letting our following know and our supporters know what was going on. And yeah, the city failed to get in touch with us. We still haven't heard from a single city official.
Yeah. This is very concerning and extremely unfair.
Yes, I mean, we've been operating out of this for 40 years to not even have the opportunity to have a discussion, to even be the new tenants, regardless of where the disconnect was. Let us come to the table and have a discussion with you. And, you know, we've been great tenants. We've done everything that has been asked of us. We've helped preserve this building to the best of our ability, to make sure that it was cared for, to make sure that everything is still running, and to not even have the opportunity to to be the tenant once the building is relocated is just, it's so disheartening and disappointing. Yeah.
When was that 90-day notice given?
That was given at the beginning of February, so February 1st.
So what is your last
So
day?
April 30th is when we have to be out, is our last day. I believe that we will be closing probably on the 18th of April for guests, just because it will take us a long time to get all of the memorabilia that we've collected over the years down off the walls, and make sure that we're doing that in a really careful way, because it's just, they're all really precious articles for us, down to the light fixtures that we sourced out 40 years ago from, you know, various antique dealers. But yeah, so we'll need a couple of weeks to get everything, you know, out of there.
Joanna, from your heart, why do you think we want to save 1886 today, and in its form, the way it is?
Because it means so much to so many people. That is, you know, aside from the fact that I'm helping with operations because I love my family and want to make sure that their legacy is carried on. It's so special to us to hear of all of the memories and all of, you know, the times that 1886 has been a part of the community of Calgary and people's memories. And we just want to be able to continue that piece, as well as being able to honor a piece of heritage here, a piece of Calgary that is so important to be celebrated. And we just want to be able to keep doing that and giving that back to the community. And that's what we've done for the last 40 years. And we're hoping to do that for another 40 more.
I agree with you. And, you know, it's so interesting. Our city is so quick to take down any of our history and not restore it and keep it in its place. And I know I'm personally, that's why we're here today, Joanna. I love 1886, and I love the fact that I can walk in there anytime and feel at home and have that richness of history all around me. It's a very precious spot and the best breakfast in town.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
Joanna, there's a petition that we can sign. Where can we find that?
You can find it on our Facebook page. Would probably be the easiest way, because the link is just in our post. I can repost again probably this week, and that would be the easiest way. You can also find the link in our bio on our Instagram page as well. And yes, please sign it. We're already at 6,000 plus signatures, and I love reading all the comments on the petition, because they're just little snippets of how much it means to the city. Not just the building, but the cafe itself. And just, yeah, we're hoping to just keep plugging away with our petition. There's also a letter writing campaign, just asking to send. Obviously, a personal letter would be the best if you have a personal story that you would like to share with your alderman and the mayor about the cafe and what it means to you. But we've also created a template as well. We understand that these are very busy and challenging times for everybody. So we have a template that's easily accessed as well on our Facebook page to send to whoever you think would like to hear about our story.
I love it. Well, the fact that you were told that you were going to be part of the revitalization from the beginning, and then all of a sudden crickets, is extremely unfortunate, unfair, and un-Canadian.
Yes.
I'm delighted that you're here today. I hope that everyone will sign the petition, send the letters of support, and I also hope that they're heard, because that's also interesting at City Hall. So I'm looking forward to a response from City Hall, and a positive one. Thank you so much, Joanna. I appreciate you joining me today.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Joanna McLeod with 1886 Buffalo Cafe. If you've not been there for breakfast, you're missing out. And if, in fact, the city gets their way and we're only open till mid-April, get down there. It's amazing, even for takeout. So good. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for joining us on Cat's Track. We'll see you next time.